Okay, we're going to do the trash method for factoring. I have to admit, this is not my favorite method, but there are a lot of people that really like it, including a lot of teachers. So just because I don't like it doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. It's just, I don't know, it's just not my favorite. All right, so I'm going to do problems from the notes, and I'm going to start with number 8. Okay? Number 8 is 12x squared minus 15x minus 27. Now, as I've said over and over, look for GCF before you start. So GCF here, what goes into 12, 15, and 27? Luckily, 3 makes this a little bit easier to deal with. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide by 3. So that's 4x squared minus 5x minus 9. Okay? No matter what method you use, if you're doing a trinomial, you're going to have to use the the magic x. So a times c is negative 36, and b is negative 5. So we need two numbers that multiply together to negative 36, add together to negative 5. So it's negative 9 and 4. Do a double check. Negative 9 times 4, negative 36. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5, so we're good. Here's how the trash method works. You write your two groupings, and you use the number, the lead number, which is 4, in both of them. And then you have to put an x on there, just a single x. And then you get the next part of your grouping from your magic x. So here's our magic x. It doesn't matter which one goes in which group, okay? Because multiplication is commutative, it doesn't matter. We're multiplying these two groups together, so it doesn't matter which group comes first, okay? And then the 4 is the other one that we're going to put in there, a plus 4. So we have a minus 9 here and a plus 4 here. And just don't forget that we also factored out a 3. So that 3 kind of just is hanging out. It's going to be on the final answer. So you can actually just bring it down to the final answer or write it on your answer line. If there's an answer line, it's kind of up to you. Here's where the trash comes in. You need to see, is there anything I can trash from both groups? What can I divide 4 and 9 by? What number can be divided by? What's your greatest common factor that you could divide by? In this case, it's 1. But in 4x plus 4, it's going to be 4. They call it trash because you divide by that and throw it away. Okay? So we have our 3 hanging out from here. I drew it too far down. And 1 goes into 4, 4x, and 9. That doesn't change. But the other group does change. It becomes x plus 1 because we're going to divide everything by the trash and throw it away. And that's going to be our answer. That's the trash method. So people really like that method. Let's do 2 more trinomials with this, okay? So number 9 from the same notes. 9y squared plus 30y plus 25. And if you're like me, I'm thinking, oh, GCF is 3. And then I write down the 25 and I realize it can't be 3. I know it can't be 5 because 5 doesn't go into 9. So in this case, our GCF is 1. So that doesn't change anything. We're going to have some big numbers here. So you could do the groupings first if you want. So I'm going to write the 9y and the 9y, my two groups. But then I have to come do my magic x to see what the other piece of the group is. So up here, a times c, which is 225. And down here is b, which is 30. I have to admit, I didn't see it right away. So I went and I used my graphing calculator. I put in y equals 225 divided by x, second graph. As soon as I saw it, I was like, duh. But you know, sometimes our brains just have a moment. In this case, it was 15 and 15. 15 times 15 is 225. 15 plus 15 is 30. So we're going to put a plus 15 in both of them. Don't stop there. If you give me this as an answer, if you were to FOIL this, you would get 81y squared, and then you would get 225 on the end. You'd have a mess. So don't forget your trash, okay? If you're doing the trash method, don't forget your trash. So the trash in both of them is going to be the same because they're the same. It's going to be 3 in both cases. So you're going to throw away a 3 in both cases, and that's going to be 3y plus 5 times the quantity 3y plus 5. You can leave it like that, or you could be fancy and write 3y plus 5 squared. Our greatest common factor here was 1, so we don't have to bring that down and put it on the outside. So that's our final answer. Okay? Let's try one more trinomial. Okay? Number 10, again on the same notes, is 21x squared minus 70x. I'm already hoping that there's a greatest common factor here. I don't know why that just corrected that. plus 56. Luckily there is. It's 7. GCF here is 7. So that's going to make our life a little easier. So I'm going to divide everything by a 7, and remember that 7 on the end. Okay, so again, if you need to draw a little arrow because you're forgetful, I'm forgetful. You might not be, but I am. So that's going to leave us with this, 3x squared minus 10x plus 8. Much easier than 56 and 21. Okay, again, you can do your little groups first, or you can do the magic x first. It doesn't matter. We can't finish out the groups, though, until we do our magic x. A times c is 24. B is negative 10. So it's actually going to be negative 6 and negative 4. Negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24, and negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So that's what we put in our groups. Again, doesn't matter which one goes where. Because it's commutative, we switch the groups around. All right, again, you're doing the trash method, so in every case, you have to throw out the trash. If you don't, you're going to get it wrong. So in the first group, the trash is 3, and in the second group, the trash is 1. So we had our little 7. Good thing I drew my arrow, so that's out there waiting. In the first group, we threw out a 3. So 3x divided by 3 is just x. 6 divided by 3 is 2. In our next group, we're dividing by 1, so that does not change our value. And there we go. Done. Okay, now let me show you the cool thing about this. You can use the trash method if you have 4 terms. There's just a little less work to do, and one thing you have to remember, okay? So number 6 on the homework is this. It's 8ax minus 6x minus 12a plus 9. When we have 4 terms in any of the methods, we don't have to use the magic x. It's already been split up for us. So they took care of doing the magic x for you. You do have to check to see if there's a greatest common factor in all 4 terms before you start. In this case, there is not. Okay? So, see if I can remember how to do this correctly. We're going to do our 2 groups. Oh, yeah, we're just going to put 8ax minus 6x, negative 12a plus 9. The difference is our trash is going to be kept this time. We're not going to trash it, so watch what happens. So this is where you have to be careful with the trash method. In that first group, I know I can divide by an x and a 2, leaving me with a 4a minus 3. Now you notice I wrote that in the middle, and there's a reason. If we do this correctly, what we're left with in the other group should be 4a minus 3. So let's check the trash on the next group. Now the trash in the next group, because that lead term is negative, I'm going to trash a negative. Well, watch what happens. Whoops, that's not right. What am I supposed to be dividing by there? A negative 3. I just jumped the gun there. Negative 3. So negative 12a divided by negative 3, look what it gives you. 4a. 9 divided by negative 3 gives you negative 3. Well, we already wrote that down. This is why we don't throw out our trash. We're going to use that trash as our other factor. And that's my answer. Okay? So the difference is when we're doing 4 terms, our trash gets written down. Okay, let's do one more, and that's number 7. Okay, so we have 5x squared minus 5xy plus 10x minus 10y. Again, look for a GCF at the very beginning that can go into all 4 of them. The GCF that can go into all 4 of these is 5, so we can make this a little easier on ourselves. So we're going to take out a 5, so we would really be left with x squared minus xy plus 2x minus 2y. Okay? Let's look at our 2 groups. What trash can we... So this plus is on that too. So what trash can we look at? I'm going to do it this way. In this group. Okay? Well, we can trash out an x. Remember, in this, when we have 4, we keep our trash. And that's going to go into a group. Well, what happens when we trash that? We have an x minus y. Let's look at our other group. What can we trash out of there? A 2. Look what it leaves us behind. x minus y. So therefore, we put our trash in the other group. Oh my gracious, what in the world? That was nowhere near looking like a circle. X plus 2, because it was a positive 2. Oh, don't forget, we took out a GCF at the very beginning of 5. And there's our answer. Okay, so that's the trash method. If you have any questions, you want more practice, you're not sure the trash method works for you, please let me know. I want to help you. There's so many times in these videos I want to stop and say, what questions do you have? But obviously you can't answer me. So you need to do the part and ask me the question if you're not understanding.